I do have a dilemma. My wife got weight loss surgery and she thinks she's fine enough to divorce me. I told her to calm down. She's moved on with our male friend. I've got hoes too, but why does she do this to me? Help.
I heard we are showing ourselves before and after.
I had someone say to me, all these women work out, get in shape, start looking awesome, and then they leave their husbands. I remember hearing that and I was sick to my stomach hearing it because I started working out and taking care of myself, eating properly. But little did I know, it's the mental work that you're doing while you're doing the exercise. People that don't do that have no idea what you're actually accomplishing. You're doing self-growth. You're believing in yourself. You're committing to yourself. It's called self-integrity. And usually what happens is if your partner doesn't grow with you, you outgrow them. And you can either stay and be held back, or you can keep moving forward, which unfortunately is what happened to me.
Is the equivalent of what men feel when after we're divorced, the ex-wives drop a lot of weight and look super sexy. We're sitting here thinking, where was that effort when we were married? Why are you doing it only after we're divorced? Now, I don't have that answer, but to the ladies watching, why is that?
I have the answer, and all of the women watching will be nodding along with me. There are 3 types of men as husbands and or fathers. There are men that default most, if not all, of the mental and physical responsibility for parenting and domestic household to women. And it's not specific to women that are stay-at-home moms, but of course, that's the most common excuse that men give for doing that. Secondly, there are men that help their wives with the mental and physical responsibility of parenting and domestic household, specific to her returning that favor with something that is for his own personal needs. They will do the dishes, they will put their kids to bed at night after giving them a bath, but their feeling of responsibility and their willingness to do so is connected to whether or not they're getting what they want from her, usually physically. If they're not, they will be much less willing and much more likely to complain about having responsibility for those things. And thirdly, there are men that carry their share of responsibility, both physically and mentally, for parenting and domestic household because they want to and it's rewarding for them. Whatever they are experiencing in their interpersonal, romantic, physical relationship with their wife is separate from the way they feel about responsibility for parenting and domestic household. Women that glow up after divorce are married to one of the first 2 types of men, and women that glow up in the marriage are married to the 3rd type of man. I'm married to the 3rd type.
If a woman improves her looks, for example, loses weight, likely she's going to think she can do better because in her mind, she knows her previous looks were good enough to get or keep you, so upgrading her looks will mean upgrading from you. This is why it's not a good idea to let wives and girlfriends pack on the weight. You'll lose attraction to them and they'll lose respect for you. In this article, you'll see a real example of this. It's from the Daily Mail, and the title is, "Woman who ballooned to 270 pounds after an autoimmune disease left her bedbound reveals her husband divorced her when she lost 129 pounds because she was no longer dependent on him." Do you really believe the guy would walk away after helping her? We're only getting her side of the story. To be fair, men do want to feel like they're needed and appreciated, so sadly they'll wife up single moms to be a Captain Save-A-Ho if it makes them feel like a hero. There has to be a good reason why after all that work he decided to cut bait and run, if that's the truth. Let's read the article and see if we can figure out why. An overweight woman who shed a whopping 129 pounds has revealed her weight loss led to the end of her marriage after her husband demanded a divorce when he realized she no longer had to rely on him. Content creator and podcast host Kelly Wilson, 34, from Oregon, started to gain a significant amount of weight after being diagnosed with autoimmune disease lupus, as well as rheumatoid, arthritis, and fibromyalgia, a condition which causes chronic pain and fatigue all over the body, in 2014. It looks like she decided to cash out on her weightless story and live the single life. What type of content creator? Women will usually use something legit to promote their OnlyFans. For example, so-called fitness influencers will have buried within the links of promoting products and affiliates a discreet link to their OnlyFans. Think of a social media career as an excuse to go fishing for dick. Practically bedridden, Kelly turned to food to comfort her growing depression. Platefuls of pasta and late-night binges on Ben & Jerry's ice cream and cookies led to her weight spiraling out of control. At her heaviest, Kelly weighed 270 pounds and struggled to fit into size 18 clothing. That's not the disease's fault she couldn't stop eating the junk food. Sounds like she used it as an excuse to become lazy and a glutton, to get a free ride. As a result of her increasing weight and the symptoms of her illness, Kelly was often left unable to walk more than a few steps before her legs gave out. So husband Mike, 32, who Kelly met in 2007, became her caretaker. That's her fault, not the illness. Obesity makes everything worse. How many women would stick around for their sick husbands who are bedridden? This is why many military divorces happen. The husband gets crippled by war and the wife he married before deployment, who enjoyed collecting his benefits, decides it's not what she signed up for and moves on. It's a sad reality that modern women wait around the finish line to fuck the winners and will leave as quick once the winner loses. Kelly tried a number of diets but found that she would lose upwards of 20 pounds before relapsing and putting the weight all back on again. Being unable to exercise due to her ongoing health problems, Kelly knew that a more drastic option was required if she wanted to change her life for the better. In October 2018, Kelly arranged a meeting with a bariatric surgeon to discuss options for weight loss surgery, and in April 2019, Kelly underwent a vertical sleeve procedure in which 80% of the stomach is surgically removed to suppress a patient's appetite. She took the easy option, and how much you want to bet the husband paid for it all? The average cost of the surgery is from $7,000 to $33,000. They could have gotten another car, but the bitch couldn't put down the spoon and fork. This is a good example of how modern women will weigh a man down. Wives and girlfriends are supposed to be an asset, not a liability. Remarkably, immediately following her operation, the pain she had been feeling all over her body due to her numerous health conditions had disappeared, something that the surgeon operating put down to the anesthetic potentially changing her body's chemical makeup. All she had to do was stop being a glutton, and she may not have had any problems to begin with. Whilst Kelly does still occasionally have flare-ups relating to her chronic medical conditions, these are now a rarity as opposed to the norm when she has managed to come off the 8 pills she was taking per day to manage her pain. As a result, Kelly feels that her mind is much clearer and her mental health is better than it has ever been. Most mental health for women is whether they're fuckable or not, or have the ability to get into a relationship or not when it comes to brass tacks. There's no such thing as a happy woman that's single. Also, modern women never grow up, so they're a teen and an adult body. It depends on when they lose their virginity, whatever age they stop maturing. So when something doesn't go their way, they have a tantrum and the feminists call it a mental health problem. Since her operation, Kelly has managed to lose 129 pounds and now weighs just 141 pounds. She amazingly fits into a size 2 and receives plenty of compliments from her friends, family, and those in weight loss surgery community online who say that she looks incredible and is an inspiration. She's not a smoke show, nor hot, but she forgot to include the most important compliment is men approaching her for a one-night stand. No longer being bedbound, Kelly is now able to do simple things that she was unable to do before, such as taking out the rubbish and sorting the recycling. Whilst this newfound independence has changed her life for the better, it has also changed the dynamic of her and her husband's relationship. She was normal before she decided to get fat. This sounds made up to justify her leaving so she can sport fuck. With Kelly no longer relying on Mike to take care of her, tensions rose within the relationship, culminating in Mike asking Kelly for a divorce at the beginning of 2021. I'm not buying this. The fact that she doesn't go into details lets you know this is probably bullshit. Women often lie by omitting the facts from the truth. Throughout the article, she repeats the same thing, saying the same lie enough and people start to believe it. Whilst the separation has been devastating for the couple after 14 years together, Kelly says that she is discovering more about herself than ever before and feels for the first time in a long time that she is in control of her own destiny. When women say they're discovering themselves or exploring themselves or finding out who they are, they're talking about having sex with different types of men and seeing what they like. This isn't a man going MGTOW or in monk mode like Bruce Wayne developing himself in a cave to become Batman. This is them in a candy shop trying out all the flavors they can afford. Kelly has even started a podcast with her friend Melanie Gottfried, 34, who also has undergone weight loss surgery, in which the pair talks about the ups and downs they have faced in the aftermath of their procedures. Of course, bitches always want attention. They don't act like they're the only ones who lost weight. And from a surgery, it's not like she got on a diet and hit the gym. No, her husband spent a car because she couldn't push away the plate. I met my now ex when I was just 20 and gained what I would call happy weight because we were comfortable around each other and loved going out for dinner, said Kelly. There's the truth. She, like many women, pulled a fat grenade once she got the commitment. And that's why with modern women, girlfriends make better wives. They have to be constantly competing for that commitment. That's the only motivation they'll have to stay fit, friendly, and supportive. My weight really started to increase after I was diagnosed with lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and fibromyalgia in 2014. I had to quit my job as I was bedridden and I could hardly walk without falling. My ex would sometimes even have to carry me to the bathroom. And there it is. She got tired of being a strong, independent career lady, so she used the disease as an excuse to stop working. This guy did everything for this lazy bitch. Maybe even go into credit card debt if their finances depended on two people working, just so they can eat like a cow in a bed for years, then lose the weight through surgery. A lot of the medication I was taking to manage my illnesses contributed to weight gain, and I also comfort ate to try and suppress how bad I felt about myself and my life. I was eating to cope with the fact that I was stuck in bed in my 20s while all of my friends were out enjoying their lives like I should have been. I would order a McDonald's meal but add on extra burgers and fries and just gorge on it all in a matter of minutes. This is all excuses. Unbelievable. The only option I had to interact was if my friends wanted to come over and hang out at my bedside. I would eat so much pasta and sugary foods as a way of coping and would go to the kitchen when no one was around and I would eat a whole tub of Ben & Jerry's with crushed cookies in it. I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't recognize myself anymore because I had gained so much weight. Maybe you can put some of the blame on the husband for not putting his foot down and allowing her to order McDonald's. As soon as the scales increased, he should have told her to stop being a pig. His commitment is conditional if she stays thin. Men need to draw lines in relationships. Besides cheating, getting fat is a definite no for most men because most are attracted to thin and fit women. Otherwise, if she's fat, it's like having a deadbeat roommate. It was so debilitating that I just wanted it to be all over. Before I was diagnosed, I would go through periods of dieting and losing 20 or 30 pounds and then would stop and gain it all back again and more. I think I even did Weight Watchers 3 times in total. There was a moment I went to my little sister's birthday and got all dressed up and felt good about myself for the first time in years, but afterwards, I looked back at the pictures that were taken that day and hated the way I looked. I knew I needed to do something more dramatic to change my life. In October 2018, I contacted a surgeon for the first time to discuss options for weight loss surgery, not knowing if I was even eligible, and by April 2019, I was going under the knife. After the surgery, I woke up and the doctors asked me to do laps of the room as part of my recovery. By my 3rd lap, I realized that I wasn't in pain anymore. It was like a miracle. I had been taking 8 pills for my pain every day for 5 years. No shit. The body isn't made to carry all the extra weight. but this chick probably wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants a life without consequences. If you eat bad food, your body is gonna suffer from it, mostly by gaining weight in areas that are not flattering. I asked my surgeon, my fibromyalgia got to the point where people couldn't touch me because it hurt so bad, but now, after 80% of the time, I feel great, although I do still occasionally have bad days. The biggest change as a result of my weight loss has been the relationship between me and my soon-to-be ex-husband. I was very dependent on my husband before my surgery and after. I just wanted to be independent and make my own decisions. Translation, she wanted to be a hoe and didn't want to live in the confines of a relationship, that is, to stay faithful. When you have been living with a certain dynamic between you for so many years, it can be really tough to change that suddenly. It's really hard to go from that role of caretaker to someone not needing you in that way anymore. The weight loss and the podcast became such a big thing for me, and he felt that I wasn't invested in our relationship anymore. She literally made a podcast to announce she was fuckable again to the world, and of course he felt that way. She probably posts bikini photos on Instagram as well. If a woman in a relationship does this, she has one foot out the door because someone is gonna take notice and DM her. As heartbreaking as it is because we were together for 14 years and I really do love him, the divorce isn't necessarily a bad thing. She didn't love him because if she did, she would have not allowed herself to have gotten fat. Sex is a big part of the relationship for men. Her being a slob deprived the man from that for a long time. He did all that work and spent all the money for nothing. Does it sound like she's devastated when claiming divorce isn't a bad thing? This is such bullshit. It is certainly one of the most difficult things to happen as a result of my weight loss. Now, little things like taking out the trash and doing the recycling are weirdly exciting. I really like now having control over my life when for so long this was not possible. Before her weight loss, Kelly's diet consisted of lots of pasta and fast food including McDonald's, Taco Bell, and ice cream, totaling roughly 3,000 calories per day. Now, Kelly follows a protein-rich diet consisting of cheese, salami, chicken, and protein shakes, totaling 1,000 calories per day. What was stopping her from eating her protein-rich diet she's eating now, if that's actually the truth? Fitness influencers, especially if they're in calorie deficit, can eat junk food and not gain weight because they'll burn through the calories, but you'll never see them posting their cheat meals, only once in a while. Kelly hopes that her podcasting will allow her to educate others on the benefits of weight loss surgery whilst dispelling some of the myths and misconceptions surrounding it. I've had a lot of people thank me and say that I've shown them that weight loss surgery isn't as scary as they first thought, said Kelly. There is a lot of scaremongering around it, and to be able to educate people about the options available and the process is a great thing. My surgery has allowed me to regain control over my life, and whilst this has not always been easy, I'm now finding out more about myself than I ever have in my life. She's able to live that single life again and hop on the cock carousel. Let's see if the commenters catch on to what happened. Good for her and all those big life changes that happened. She looks fantastic and healthy, wishing her happiness and peace. Someone finally asks, why is this news? Exactly. People lose weight, especially the right way, all the time. No one in the comments saw this scam she pulled off. This just goes to show why there needs to be channels like this, to help men become more aware of the modern women trickery. This proves you can't help modern women out because they'll use you as a rebound. Wild animals have more loyalty because at least when they're nursed back to health, they remember the owner. As soon as this chick got up, she ran to the nearest dick. The end. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.